Good morning, students. Let us learn about the Indian water resources today. First, let us know the importance. We all know water is one of the most precious natural resources. Without water, it is impossible to sustain life. And India is gifted with substantial water resources. It has many rivers and gets sufficient rainfall. Water resource can be divided into surface water and groundwater resources. Now, major resources of India. India has many river systems. They are the natural resources of the country. The rivers are useful for irrigation, generation of hydel power, inland waterways, fishing, etc. Here, the river systems of India can be divided into two groups. The first one is the rivers of North India, and second, the rivers of peninsular India. The rivers of North India. They are also known as the Himalayan rivers. Keep in mind, the important rivers of North India are the Indus, the Gangas, and the Brahmaputra. Let us know about the river Indus or Sindhu, which rises near Mount Kailash in Tibet. Initially, it flows northwestwards, then it flows towards the southwest and enters Pakistan, and finally joins the Arabian Sea near Karachi. But the major part of its course is in Pakistan. Now, about the Ganga River. The Ganga River is the largest river of India. Underline this in your textbook also, children. It rises in the Gangotri Glacier. It flows towards the south and southeast, then enters Bangladesh where it joins the Brahmaputra. After it joins Brahmaputra, it continues as Padma and finally flows into the Bay of Bengal. Now, the Brahmaputra river rises near Lake Manasa Sarovar in Tibet and flows towards the east. It enters India through a narrow gorge in Arunachal Pradesh. Then it flows to the west and turns to the south in Bangladesh, where it joins the Ganga, and its length is 2589 kilometers. The rivers of South India. Many rivers flow across South India. They are also known as peninsular rivers. Keep in mind, children, most of them rises in the Western Ghats. The important rivers of South India are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada, Tapi and their tributaries. The east flowing rivers. This question several times they ask in the final exam also, children, which are the east flowing rivers and the west flowing rivers, so that you should read it carefully. The Mahanadi rises in Shihawa range, flows towards the east and joins the Bay of Bengal. The Godavari is the largest river in South India. River Krishna rises near Mahabaleshwar, then it flows towards the southeast. River Kaveri rises at Talakaveri and flows towards the east and joins the Bay of Bengal. Now, the west flowing rivers, the Narmada and Tapi, are the important west flowing rivers of South India. River Narmada rises in Amarakantak Hills and flows westwards through a narrow gorge called Marble Gorge and joins the Arabian Sea. This you can see in the map also, students. The Tapi rises near Multai, flows westwards and joins the Arabian Sea. Learnt about the rivers, students. Now let us know about irrigation. What do you mean by irrigation? That means the artificial supply of water for the purpose of agriculture is called irrigation. So why there is a need of irrigation in India? This question also is very important. Several times they have asked the question. We all know India is an agricultural country. Therefore, it needs regular and sufficient supply of water. Agriculture in India depends mainly on monsoon rainfall. It is seasonal, uncertain, and unevenly distributed. There are certain crops which require a larger and regular water supply. So, which are the crops that needs lots of water? That is rice, sugarcane, etc. Besides, to increase the yield and production of crops, required regular supply of water. So, this can be provided only by irrigation, which is very essential in India. So, this is the need of irrigation. So, now the types of irrigations. The important types of irrigations in India are wells, canals, and tanks. So, what is well irrigation? We all have seen the wells, we all know about it. So, it is the most important type of irrigation in India. Well irrigation is possible even in areas of low rainfall. It is cheap and easy to dig wells and they do not require superior technology. It is easy even for small farmers to dig the wells. Well irrigation is largely practiced in the Ganga plains, etc. Wells are of two types, namely open wells and tube wells. Next is about the canal irrigation. It has occupies the second place after well irrigation. And India has one of the world's largest canal system. The government is responsible for the construction and maintenance of canals. There are two types of canals. First is inundation canal and perennial canals. Now, what do you mean by inundation canals? In this, the water is drawn directly from the river without building a dam. And in perennial canals, dams are constructed across the rivers and water is stored in the reservoirs and used for agriculture through canals. So, this is the difference. Now, tank irrigation. A tank is a natural or man-made hollow on the earth's surface into which rainwater is collected. The water is used for irrigations. Most of the tanks are non-perennial. So this is all about irrigation. Let us know about the multi-purpose river valley projects. Here the question arises like this. Explain the objectives of multi-purpose river valley projects. So the answer what you have to write is what are the benefits of multi-purpose river valley. There are 10 points children, 9 points. So keep in mind. You have to write to provide water for irrigation, to control the floods, to generate hydroelectricity, to prevent soil erosion, to develop inland waterways and fishing, to provide recreation facilities, to provide water for domestic purposes and industries, reclaim land for agriculture, afforestation, etc. Now, major multipurpose projects. First, Damodar Valley Project. This was the first multipurpose river valley project of the country. It was designed on the lines of Tennessee Valley Authority TVA, underline that, in USA. River Damodar was called Sorrow of Bengal. Why? Because it was causing devastating floods during the rainy seasons and damaged crops and human settlements. So main aims of this project are to control of floods, provide irrigation, navigation, generation of hydroelectricity, afforestation, control of soil erosion, promotion of mining, industries and inland fishing. Children, sometimes the question also will be asked why Damodar Valley is called the Sorrow of Bengal. This project has been jointly undertaken by the government of Bihar and West Bengal across river Damodar and its tributaries. Next, about Bhakra Nangal project. It is a joint venture, very important, of the states of Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. This project comprises of two dams, Bhakra and Nangal, across the river Satluj and four powerhouses, flood control, irrigation facilities, generation of hydroelectricity, prevention of soil erosion, promotion, afforestation are the main objectives of this project. Hirakud project, it is the most important multi-purpose project of Odisha. This project comprises of the construction of three dams on river Mahanadi at Hirakud. It also has two hydel power stations. Hirakud is the longest dam in India, keep in mind. Tungabhadra project, it is a joint venture of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So this also was asked. The main aims of the project are to provide irrigation, generation of hydel power and inland fisheries. A dam has been constructed across river Tungabhadra, a tributary of Krishna. The reservoir created by this dam is called Pampa Sagara. Upper Krishna project, it is the biggest multipurpose river valley project in North Karnataka across river Krishna. It comprises of two dams, namely Almatti and Narayanpura, and a hydel power house. We'll move on to the Kosi project. It is an international project and a joint venture of India and Nepal. Keep in mind, a dam is built across river Kosi near Hanuman Nagar in Nepal. The seventh is the Rihand Valley project. This is the most important multipurpose river valley project of Uttar Pradesh. Here, flood control, prevention of soil erosion, inland fishing, provides irrigation and power generation are the main aims of the project. The reservoir created by this dam is called Gobind Balabh Pant Sagar. The eighth is the Nagarjun Sagar project. It is built across river Krishna in Telangana. Irrigation and power generation are the main aims of the project. So this is all about the water resources, students. Read the lesson carefully line to line and underline the sentences which are important, which I have told you in the video.